Welcome once again to our YouTube channel. This is Joint Hands Green Life Trees, and we are coming to you from one of the remotest areas of Migori County in a sub-county of Nyatike. And in Nyatike sub-county, you will get to learn a lot that we want to present to you today. I'm John Bosco for Joint Hands Green Life Trees, and my colleague here is...
Welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Pamela from Joint Hands Green Life channel.
Yeah, and
this
so
place is far.
Yeah, yeah, quite distant from Migori where we stay, but it is still the same county. And now we also have got our host because we came over here to visit one of the museum sites within Migori County, and is called is a UNESCO museum site that was opened up some few years ago. And so just before we get into the museum, I want to paint a picture of what Nyatike sub-county is. Now, Migori County has got 8 sub-counties, and among the 8 sub-counties, the driest of them is Nyatike, which most parts of Nyatike are arid and semi-arid lands. And so we happen to be within North Kadem ward of am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, we happen to be within North Kadem ward in Nyatike sub-county, and this area is usually so dry, and it is known for being the most arid place. Like what you can see to the background there is usually most of it is a field, and this field here is comprised mostly of shrubs, not so much of trees that can be seen here. But one thing about Nyatike again is that they they keep large herds of livestock, and so you can see that to my background here are livestock, and this is what you'll be seeing mostly in our videos. It only happens to be green, so green to the background because we are in a rainy season, and so it happens to be raining here. But were it not for the rains, what you'd be seeing here mostly would be a dry land, and usually clouds of dust because it gets so windy, and so any vehicles that move around or the herds of livestock, whenever they are moving around, what you'd usually see is a dry land all across. That is basically about Nyatike. And this plant here, this plant that you see here is what characterizes, this is what describes Nyatike. And so as you can see, usually it is made up of, it is so funny with some kind of thorns. And these thorns here, when you check around, when you check in them, usually they have what looks like fruits, but these are not fruits, and they are shaped like horns. And again, usually so many ants are inside here. These ants that you see inside here usually are, this acts as their shelter, so they reside in there. So whenever you are handling this fruit here, I don't know if to call it a fruit, but whenever you are handling it, you know you are dealing with dealing with potential insects inside, that ants that could easily bite. So that is it. And so one-on-one we want to...
Livestock feed on this thing?
Yeah, human beings are the ones feeding on it.
Human beings feed on this?
They eat the wet ones of this food, like this.
Okay.
Yeah, can be eaten.
So this one is edible?
And that one is edible.
So
okay.
Which part of it now? Because
no, more so this part here.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is edible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you remove it like that, then you can...
Oh, that's why maybe the ants are also feeding on the same thing. That's why it
and
has
so
got a lot of ants.
okay. So that is edible.
So this one can be eaten?
Yeah, that one can be eaten.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Can
I can
taste?
just
Yeah,
eat right away.
Yeah, you can eat right away.
Let me taste.
I don't know. I didn't expect that it is edible.
But
Yeah, but it is sort of sugary. It has got some funny taste. Yeah. So Pam is not so good at these things that are tasted for the first time, but I don't mind eating. I don't mind eating them. So most of the trees that you would see here are shrubs and also acacias. Acacia trees are usually thorny, and so to my background here you can see that this is just acacia. But we also want to take a walk into the museum to see what exactly is happening in there. Yeah, so this here is already taking us into the museum. Now we already have got one hosts here whom we are not introduced to you, so please come over and introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm called Thimlich Ohinga, working with the National Museums of Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah, so Kevin is in charge here and he's our host and also our guide. We'll be walking around with him just to, he'll be explaining to us most of what happens here, how things happen here, and how everything goes. Now, to start with is that what we've come to see in this museum is lots and lots of stuff. Our primary interest was to ascertain its tree cover, the kind of indigenous trees that exist in here, and as to whether we can help to see that we increase the tree cover for this museum. But most importantly is that we are interested in restoring African indigenous trees, which are getting extinct. Many people tend to embrace more of exotic trees, and as a result, we are losing and losing more out on African indigenous trees. So we are exploring possibilities of restoration of African indigenous trees. So what you could see to my background there is a whole dry land, but because the museum is conserved, so it starts from here. And you can see to this background that it is greener and better. And with larger trees, you can see Pam there trying to, I don't know what she's trying to check on.
This is a fruit.
Oh, you got a
These
fruit?
ones are for the dessert.
Oh, these are
this
desert
is
fruit.
balanites.
Oh, these are
Yes,
balanites.
they're coming from this tree. These are
Yeah.
desert trees, yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, this is a desert tree.
Yes. This is a real indication that this place must be
Really a dry
a
place.
dry place, yes.
Yeah, because again,
you can see a lot of euphorbia,
yeah,
that dwarf acacia,
and the
balanites.
balanite tree. Yeah, so this balanite tree here is a clear indication that we are indeed in a desert, in an arid
what I
and
know about
semi-arid
this
place.
one is edible.
Okay.
A fresh one is always eaten.
Ah,
Yeah.
so this is edible.
Yes, I know this.
But not this dry one.
No, this one is already dirty.
Among the wild fruits in Africa that are edible, so we happen to be seeing the balanite tree usually is quite edible. And looking back to this other side, you can see that we have larger trees because this area is largely conserved, and it is called, this museum here is called Thimlich Ohinga. Now, Thimlich is a Luo word, and Thim means a jungle, and lich means frightening or just so mighty. So when we say Thimlich, is simply to say that when we say Thimlich, we simply mean frightening jungle. And so Thimlich Ohinga, the Ohinga bit also simply means a fortress. Yeah, Ohinga means a fortress. So we have got an area inside here that is fortified with a wall, a very unique wall that is just so tall, and so you'd be able to see. Since I'm using the front camera, you may not be, I don't know, you might have to tilt this and try to read the National Museums of Kenya, Thimlich Ohinga World Heritage Site. So that is it. And so we are just at the gate and we are entering. We want to get in and see what is right inside there. This is a World Heritage Site in Nyatike, one of the driest parts of Migori County. And the trees here have been preserved, and the choice of trees that have grown here, most of which grew up naturally. And one other thing that characterizes Thimlich Ohinga is stones. So you can look around here and see that these rocks here have been arranged to describe to describe what rocks can really do. And so all this here this is an alley of rocks going all the way up there. Thimlich Ohinga World Heritage Site. Yeah, and so that is it. The rocks that you see there head towards the gate, and we are right into the middle of it. And you can look back here. That there is the office, and we were received in this office by our host Kevin, and so he's taking us around. And also looking to my back there, you can see some grass-thatched houses, and so Kevin will be explaining to us more information concerning these grass-thatched houses and the nature of work here. So almost over to you, Kevin. You can tell us as we take a walk around.
Okay, thank you very much. So the houses here
Yeah.
were built to show how Luo people were building their houses
Yeah.
in those days back. Like the house we are now going to direct is
Yeah.
the house for the first wife.
Okay.
So more so, this now a traditional Luo homestead.
A traditional Luo
This
homestead.
now a traditional Luo homestead.
Yes.
They're trying to show you on the man with many wives
Yeah.
can arrange his houses. Like in the first case,
Yeah.
you see the house in the middle.
Yeah.
The door is facing the gate directly.
Yeah.
Now that is the house for the first wife. So in Luo, the first wife is called Mikai.
Yeah.
So the house for Mikai is to be built in the middle of the home.
I see.
When the door is facing the gate.
The gate.
So the other wives
Yeah.
would fall on the other sides of the Mikai's house.
Okay.
Like we have the second wife,
Yeah.
just in Nyachira.
Yeah.
The house for Nyachira is to be built on your right hand side when facing the gates.
Okay.
Yes.
So like what Kevin is explaining basically means that we came from the gate and we took a walk into the home. And so this is a demonstration within the museum of a typical Luo home for a Luo man, because Luo as a community would have practiced polygamy, and so they would have many wives. But the main house that belongs to the first wife would directly face the gate, and it is this house that you see to my background that is collapsed. Yeah, it is collapsed there, and Kevin explained to us that this house belongs to the first wife, who was known as Mikai. So whenever you hear of the word Mikai in Luo, simply it means the first wife. And so you can proceed.
Then the house for the second wife is now built on your right hand side.
Okay.
When facing the gate direct. So the second wife in Luo is called Nyachira.
So that is it?
That is now the house for the second wife.
Right.
Then we also have the third wife. So the house for the third wife is now built on your left hand side.
Okay.
When facing the gates.
They would alternate.
Yeah, they would alternate.
Okay.
And that is why if you see the house, that is now the house for the third wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and the third wife, the second wife is called Nyachira. The third wife is called.
The third wife is called Rero.
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 Yeah. Oh, right.
And the fourth one.
The fourth one is now called Oer.
Oher.
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 Oher ama anayependwa. The one who is like. Or the one who is like.
Odongo Oher is the fifth one.
Odongo Oher is the fifth one, and Oher is
the fourth one. Okay.
Yeah. Then if we come down here, we have the houses for the sons.
Okay.
On your right hand side, the first son to build his house on the right hand side.
The first son builds to the right hand side of the home.
Yeah,
all right.
Then the second wife will now be on your left hand side of the home.
Okay. So that would be the second son.
The second son.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this house would belong to the son. Yeah. And this other one is, you said, the second wife.
Second wife.
Yeah. And then the first wife would have a home right to the middle. And then the third wife would be to this other end here. And so that would be the other wife.
Yeah, that is the third wife.
The third wife. And then we would have the house to...
The house close to the gate now, that one is for the second son.
The second son. Yeah. So that would be the first son, and this would be the second son.
That you left the first wife's house is already spoiled.
Yeah, is already...
That is due to everyone. You know, that house has stand there for so long.
Okay. Yeah.
The house was built in 1983 up to date.
In 1983.
So it has stayed for so long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so what plan is it?
After this evidence, we are very happy. We are very sure that we are going to do something.
Because there is adequate grass.
Yeah.
Remember that these houses were mostly made out of posts, mud, and they would be grass thatched.
The grass thatch.
Ah, wonderful.
And just a question, because why is this round nature? Why not the four-cornered house?
You know, they are now giving examples on how those people are building their houses. So that is why if you build them in this cornered house, it will now be something new. Something which was not there during those days.
And why is it that they were used to this round house?
Because I think that could be the idea
that was the idea, because these people, even in those days, they were not having a proper light inside the house.
Yes.
But if the house is round like this, they were having what we call utuchi, which is just a small hole,
an
for
opening.
ventilation. For ventilation. So if the light is inside the house, to see what it can,
wonderful. And tell us about this area that is fenced right in the middle of the home. I can see it is a circle.
In the middle of the home, we have the cattle boma. This is where the animals spend their night.
The livestock.
The livestock spend there.
They spend the night inside.
So there's another thing with this cattle boma here. If you see the gates, we have the gate there. So the gate is also,
so this is the entrance.
This is the entrance.
Okay.
So the entrance is also facing the first wife house, showing that any wells around this home belongs to the first wife.
Okay. So it would signify that all the livestock that is here, the first wife has greater authority over them. Wonderful.
And what's this?
These are some of the things they were using to carry pots.
So it was put in the head and then you put the pot on top.
So they would help to balance the pot. And
then we also have the granary.
Wonderful. Come and tell us about the granary. Because we are learning a lot of stuff here about traditional Luo life in Africa, how we were before the colonial days. So this is it. This is called a granary. Traditionally in Luo is called dero. Yes.
This is where they are keeping their grains after harvest.
Okay. And those grains included stuff like what?
The grains, millet, finger millets. By then, I took one.
Sorghum.
We were not having sorghums. We were not having maize. So they were keeping sorghum, millet.
Groundnuts. Here is the entrance.
Here is now the entrance.
Oh, so they would enter through here.
Yes, only the kids were the first. They were the people to go inside.
Okay.
But only that. But unfortunately, when the kids are away, the bigger person, you can now push
you can
roof.
Lift up the roof.
If you lift up the roof, so even somebody who is abused can also enter.
You can easily get in. I see. So let's take a look. There should be some grains inside, but there's no grain because this is just but a demonstration. So traditionally, these people were very artistic, and you can see the roof here looks just so amazing.
The woven somewhere else and then carried and put on top.
The weaving of the roof will take place elsewhere.
And then it's carried by some
strong men. Come and place them.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. So guys, we are learning quite a lot of stuff here. Yes, tell us more.
And then we also have a small out inside between the first wife and the third wife.
There was a small hut. Okay. So
that is now the man's hut.
Oh, this was the man's hut. Now women were not to come in.
Women can only go in when it was allowed to go by the
only
the
when
husband.
you are called.
When you are called by the husband to go. But you are not. But this now like the administration block.
So it's like an office.
An office. Any issue within the compound. It will be squared inside the man's house.
So this was a neutral place to even call the wives and discuss their differences.
And they were also having the man was also having his bed. So if he decides that today I don't want to go in someone's house, he just call the wife
and they meet over here.
The wife is always to come and spend here if you are called.
If you are invited.
Just go
So that would be a great privilege to be invited to spend a night here. Wonderful. Hey guys,
That was life.
I'm proudly Luo, and I'm learning a lot about our very own tradition.
And what about here?
This was the central fire point.
Okay.
Okay.
At night they could have eat around this point.
Oh, they would sit
so they
around the
assemble here,
fire.
they light fire,
So
and then
basically in Luo we call it dual. This is
Bon-
what they were eating.
Oh, okay. So there would be a bonfire,
Bonfire.
and people sit around the
Around
bonfire
there, yeah.
and take meals late in the night.
yes.
Wonderful.
And when it came for time for eating, how were they sharing the food between the first, second, third, and the owner of the home?
Okay. You know, like nowadays, these people you can eat like if you have got 3 wives.
Yes.
You cannot wait them until they finish cooking. Then you collect all the food. You start eating together.
Yeah.
They are not doing that today, but during those days,
Yes.
People would eat
people
together.
would eat together. When the first wife is free with this food, he's still waiting others to also to bring the food, to prepare the food.
Yes.
If they finish, everybody is now through. They bring the food together, so people are eating in one point. Like only women were to eat with their
Children.
with their children in their houses.
Oh,
Only the girls. But the boys
so
were
girls and women in the house?
yeah.
And boys
then
and the
boys
men
and the
would
man.
sit
Boys
at the
and the
bonfire.
men were to sit around the bonfire.
Okay.
So in those days, they were also having some of the materials in which they were using to serve themselves when eating.
Yeah.
Like if we go inside that house, we have some of the materials in which they were using.
Let's take a look.
during that time.
Let's take a look and see. Guys, I hope you are learning quite some stuff about Africa and Luo land in particular. This museum point here, this depicts, and so I'm right inside there here, and Kevin is still taking us through explanations. Tell us.
Yeah, now this is now the house for the third wife. So
Yes.
all the materials you are seeing here, for first they were to be put inside the first wife house.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that the house is now is not in good
It's
condition,
collapsing, yeah.
we transferred those things which are there
Yeah.
out this house here.
Wonderful.
So, like if we start by the door,
Yeah.
this was their door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
When
that
they-
was the shutter.
When they were sleeping,
Yeah.
they closed themselves with this door here.
That was the door shutter.
The doors. Then this door
Okay.
in Luo, this one is now called Tigo.
Wonderful. Called Thigo.
Tigo in Luo. Yeah.
Okay.
So another thing, we have this big pot here.
Yeah.
They were putting alcohol inside this big
A traditional brew.
traditional brew.
It was called
It
Congo.
was called Congo.
Uh-huh.
Then when they are drinking,
Yeah.
the husband, the owner of the home, is to sit on this big chair here. This
Oh.
big chair is called.
On
I
the
thought
big
this one was a
stool.
table.
Oh, so
Okay.
that stool over there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this big chair, this big stool is called Komlu.
Komnye
Can I
Luo.
try it?
Yeah, try.
Eh?
Komlu.
Yeah.
So
Do
by
you have the authority to sit on it?
I don't know. Maybe it's a
All
taboo.
right.
when men sit surrounding the pot,
Yeah.
they will drink using the straw.
Oh, they would
We call
siphon
them-
using the
yeah, we
straw.
call them oseke.
So
Yeah.
these are the
These are
straws.
the-
Oh, so they would
These are the
sit
straw.
and be siphoning. Aye, wow.
So by the time they are drinking, there's a criteria in which they will use when sitting. You should not just come and start taking randomly.
Yeah.
We have the polygamous.
Yeah.
They were to sit in the order.
Yeah.
Like this place here is now called the bedroom. They were to sit around the bedroom.
Yeah.
Then those who were with one wife, they were to sit on
the other side, or the opposite
on
side.
the sitting room.
Yeah.
So the main reason why they were saying that, somebody with many wives, if you get a message that one of your wives have passed away,
Yeah.
you will just walk out slowly, then you go and see, you solve the problem.
So
outside.
you're not worried of the
You are not
situation.
worried of the situation. But
Yeah.
if you have one wife
Yeah.
and you get a message that your one wife passed away,
Yeah.
Or
you will
something
be
has happened.
Yeah, something has happened. You will be
You-
worried properly. Then you
And
can
then you
end
can,
up blocking the.
They're breaking the pot.
That's why
Yeah, so
you are doing that.
so they were given the area towards the exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that when they exit,
Yeah.
they would exit, whichever way they exit, they won't
They
destroy
just run
anything.
out anyhow. Yeah.
Wonderful. And we are seeing pots here.
Yes.
These pots were meant for cooking?
Yeah, there are some used in cooking, but some are also was their plates. Like we have this one here, this pot here. This was used in milking. These people, they had line number of animals. So when they are milking, they put the pot like this. Then they will milk.
They milk into the pot.
Into the pot. Then we also have another pot here. This one was used in cooking meat. When they want to cook meat, they cook meat in this pot here.
I see.
We have the mortar here.
Yeah,
they used mortar to get some grain.
To
pound grains and
they use a pestle. Then we also have another pot here. This one, during those days, those heaters were not around by then. So when somebody is sick in the home, they go inside the bush and look for some herbal medicines. They come and boil them
and mix them up.
So as you drink, you can also cover yourself with the pot. So as you sweat, the disease also
goes out.
Then we have this one here. This is now their place.
This was a plate.
When they want to eat, they put their food inside here. Then they would eat from the plate.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
We also have another one here. This is now for preparing porridge. When they want to prepare porridge,
it's made in a large cauldron. Okay.
Then another thing, we also have that big one. That's now for preparing ugali.
Okay.
When they want to prepare ugali,
African cornbread.
Ugali on that one.
Okay. Okay, and I can see there's a bigger mortar, and there is also a smaller one, and both of them would be used to pound grains. Okay, thank you.
And the fireplace.
And then we also have this for keeping clean water for drinking.
Okay, this was for drinking water. Okay, this was their water dispenser.
It could be very cold, I can remember.
Then we also have the fire point here. This is where they are cooking.
Right.
We also have this, a hanger.
For storage.
Okay, so this here would also contain some other food stuff. Okay, I see.
Then at the back there we have what we call
a shield. Okay.
So when they are going for a war.
When there were battles, they would carry the shield. And the shield was made out of animal hides.
This is for rhino.
This is a rhino hide. Really tough. So hard. So this one, no spear, no weapon could penetrate it. Okay.
Yes. We are through with this house.
You can move to another here. So I think you can take us to the enclosure that I'm seeing here. So guys, so guys, you've learned a lot about Luo tradition and how they lived in Africa during pre-colonial days and before we embraced the modern life. And a lot more that you've seen inside there has been a great lesson to how African life was. The traditional huts you are seeing there were the houses that existed then. Our forefathers, that was the life. And we've tried, in the museum here, they've made great effort to just ensure that everything is kept as it should be. And that is typically a Luo homestead and how Luo people lived. Luo people of Kenya, Luo people of Africa. Actually, Luo is a very large tribe that originated from southern Sudan and went spreading, and majority of them are within Kenya, but we also have those that are in other countries. We spread all across East Africa. We have Luos in Uganda, we have them in Tanzania, we have them right here in Kenya, and they spread over to all the East African countries and all across the world. And talking of former president of the US, Barack Obama, he was of Luo descent, and so this is the kind of life that even his forefathers lived before we came to modern life. Things that happened in the early 1817s before we came to the current life that we live. So to that point, we are coming to the end of this video about typical Luo home. But look up for our next video where we will be highlighting to you. Pam, you seemingly want to tell me something.
No, I thought you were saying.
Yeah, so as we are coming to the tail end of this video, we were only showing you about a typical home in this particular video, but we are still coming to the next episode of Thimlich Ohinga Museum, where we're going to show you how people lived in the kind of enclosures that were here. The next video is even hotter, has greater information, just a lot more.
Yeah, I've learned a lot, but I would really wish to be the first wife, because it seems she was not loved much.
Why do you think so?
Because the man had his own office there.
Yeah.
And then you had the name of the third and the fourth, Oher. Oher is somebody who is loved.
Yeah.
So meaning this first wife was also only entitled to the wealth, but not much love.
She also had great authority.
Authority,
above
wealth,
all
but no
other
much
wives.
love. No.
Yeah.
So we are moving to the next side.
What Pamela
expect
is
much
trying,
more.
what Pamela is showing you is just how it feels to have a co-wife. Yeah, so that is it from us. Keep looking. Our next video has even more information
about
Thimlich
Thimlich
Ohinga. Stay tuned.
Yeah.